What's up, guys? So before we begin exploring how feelings, reason, and will come together to shape moral action, so let us know that every day you and I are facing with choices. Some are small and some are life-changing. In each decision, you are not just choosing an action, you are shaping your character. Morality is not about being perfect. It is about striving to be better, even when it is difficult. It is about listening to your heart, guiding with your mind, and having the courage to act when it matters the most. You have the ability to think, to feel, and to choose. And that means that you have the power to grow into a person of integrity. Moral strength is not something you are born with. It is something you build through reflection, discipline, and courage. So we will now discuss the part 2, the act. So number 1, we have the feelings and moral decision making. So human moral action is shaped by both emotion and reason. Moral philosophers and psychologists agree that emotions play a central role in how people recognize and respond to moral situations. However, emotions alone are not enough. They must be guided by reason, impartiality, and moral will. So now let's proceed to the feelings as instinctive and trained responses.
David Hume nag-ingon nga ang moralidad nagsugod sa pagbati dili lang sa reason. Siya nag-ingon nga ang reason mao ang slave of the fashion. Jonathan Haidt nag-ingon nga ang paghukom sa moralidad kasagaran intuitive ug automatic ug ang reason gigamit lang sa pag-justify sa mga una nga reaction. Trained response. Emotion are not just biological, they are culturally conditioned and can be trained through education, religion, and social environment.
Why feeling can be obstacle? First, strong emotion, fear, angel, favoritism, conclude judgment. Second, can't emotion, inclination can't be the sole basis of morality. The third, emotional bias may lead to partial of unjust decision. The first, strong emotion. Strong emotion, particularly fear of angel feelings of favoritism, can be significantly distort judgment, hijacking and cognitive process and creating tunnel vision, causing individuals to ignore contradict evidence for focus only on their information, confirm their emotional state. The second, Kant emotion. Immanuel Kant argued that the emotion of the inclination can't be the sole basis of morality because they are the currently subject, unstable, and variable, whereas the moral law must be objective, universal, and necessary. For Kant, true moral work beside only the action, the performance of a sense of duty acting out of preference for the moral law rather than from personality, desire, pressure of sympathy. The third, emotional bias. Emotional bias is the distribution of cognition and decision making due to the personal feelings, moods, or emotional influence often leads to subjective, rational, and consequently partial of unjust decision.
Feelings help in making the right decisions. First, emotion help us recognize moral problem. Who feelings help when something is right or wrong. Adam's safety used to others. He believed that safety or understanding others people feeling help us clear about time and compassion motivate helping. Feeling can stop us from going bad. This feel compassion as to help others who need support.
Reason and impartiality as minimum requirements for morality. Reason and impartiality define. They help us decide what is right and wrong in a fair and logical way. Reason. Thinking critically about principles and consequences. Meaning of reason is help us think before we act, understand right and wrong, make wise decisions. Example, if you find a money on the floor, reason helps you to think that Returning it to the owner is the right thing to do. Impartiality. Giving equal moral consideration to all persons. Meaning of impartiality. Impartiality means treating everyone fairly and equally without favoritism or bias. It means no special treatment, no favoritism, fair decision for everyone. Reason and impartiality in morality. Without reason and impartiality, people may become selfish, decisions may become unfair, morality may become biased. Reason and impartiality help prevent morality from becoming self-serving or unfair. Kant's universal law principle. This means if it is wrong for others, it is wrong for you. Moral rules should apply to everyone. Example, if everyone lied, people would not trust each other, so lying is not a good moral rule. Rules, justice as fairness. This means everyone deserves equal treatment. Rules should be fair for all people. Justice is important because it helps society become peaceful and organized.
2.2 Moral Reasoning. First is Kohlberg theory of the moral development, and the second one is the higher stage involve universal ethical principles, and the third one is the measure morality based on the fairness, rights, and the human dignity. So first is Kohlberg theory of moral development. Develop a theory explaining how people grow in their understanding of rights and wrong. He said, a moral thinking develop in stage, meaning as a person grow older and gains experience, their moral reasoning become more advanced. And the second one is the higher stage involve universal ethical principle. In the highest level, post-conventional, people don't follow rules because they are rules. They think about justice, equality, human rights, and fairness. The third one is the measure morality based on the fairness, rights, and human dignity. According to Kohlberg, a morally measure person respect human dignity, and the second is they care about fair treatment, and the third one is they protect the rights of others, and the last one is they make decision based on the ethical principle, not fair or plurality.
We have number 3, moral courage. So according to one's ethical values and principles, and also especially our personal risk. When we say ethical values, so good thing or the right thing. I have an example of 3 principles to doing good about our personal risk. So first is honest, and the second is respect, and the third is responsibility. So, why the will is an important to our reason. So ngano kinahanglan nato ang will sa atong kaugalingon or sa atong sikataw. So when we say will, siya mo'y gadalag kusog para makabot na to atong pangandoy sa isig usa. So knowing what is right does not guarantee that one will do it. Useless atong pagbuhat og good thing if wala tay will nga gigamit, wala tay action nga gibuhat, di ba? Moral courage bridge the gap between judgment and action. It requires strength of will. So sa akin ko pa useless good atong gibuhat if wala tay will nga gi-apply, wala tay paningkamot nga gi-apply, wala tay action. So di na to na makabot atong pangandoy. Moral action involves risk, sacrifice, or social pressure. So Aristotle recognized the importance of character and will. So it is not enough to know what virtue is. So in short, dili lang kay kinahanglan ta magbuhat og sakto, kundi ato pud ning i-apply sa atong kaugalingon or atong reaction. So, dapat na gyud tay action, dili lang kay puro ta istorya, puro ta good thing nya wala ta gibuhat nga kuan, action dili wa ta gilingog, di ba? So one must endeavor to possess it and use to it. So kung gusto ka nga magkabuhat kag sarong or do a good thing, imong i-practice imong kaugalingon. Permanente na nimo ang imong kabutan, dili lang kay kausan imong gamiton, imong kabutan, dili lang kay kadua. So imo nang i-apply sa imong kaugalingon kung sa mga good thing nga imong gibuhat, sa imong gamahano, sa imong pagkarespeto karon. So mo na siya. So example here, Rosa Parks to school. Moral courage breeds judgment and action. So mo na tong gisulti ganiha.
Developing the will means strengthening a person's ability to choose and do what is good and right. Even when it is difficult, it is about building self-control, determination, and good habits so a person can act according to their values. Developing the wills happen when a person practice making good choice repeatedly. Over time, this practice help them become a more disciplined and able to resist temptation or distraction. Number 1. Habituation. According to Aristotle, we build strong character by forming good habits, repeated good action, strength, or will. Number 2. Practice and just a brave action. The more we choose fairness and brave in small situations, the more prepared we are to act courageously in a bigger one. Self-discipline. Controlling your desires and emotions.
So, for conclusion, ang moral action sa tao dili lang gikan sa feelings. Yes, emotions help us see moral situations and push us to care for others. Mura siya og alarm nga nagingon nga this is important. Pero kung feelings ra, dali ra ta mabias, impulsive, or masunod lang sa atong mood. That's why kinahanglan gid ang reason. Reason guides emotions para dili lang ta magpadala sa personal bias but follow justice and fairness. Mao ni ang role sa rational thinking, check kung ang atong gibati aligns with universal moral principles. Pero dili pud enough ang knowledge o rational judgment. Kung kabalo taon si sakto pero wala na to buhata, useless Japon. Mao nga kinahanglan ang moral courage, ang kusog sa will nga mo-translate sa knowledge into action. Through habit, reflection, and practice, ang tao makadevelop og virtuous character. In short, morality is a dynamic balance. So feelings motivate and alert us, and reason guide and discipline emotions, and will give courage to act. Kung mag-practice ta ani, we become more consistent, courageous, and virtuous in our moral life.